Good morning, News in Motion family. Good morning. It is the middle of the week. We have made it through the middle of the week. It is Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. We are coming to you live here at 7:25 in the morning. But if you are catching the replay, whether it's in the afternoon, the evening, or near the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for tuning in at whatever time of day is convenient for you. For our audio and podcast listeners, thank you for turning those dials to Hot 97 for News in Motion, for your relevant commentary and call to action news. How is everybody doing today on this wonderful hump day, the middle of the week? What are your plans for the rest of this week? What are your plans for the upcoming weekend? I know that with the weather starting to get a little bit cooler, you might want to start breaking out the light jackets, a light hoodie, especially in the morning times. So you might want to start doing that. And that was our forecast weather for this week. I see you, Miss Marian Jackson, coming in through YouTube. Miss Shirley Nicholson, good morning to you. Miss Deborah Johnson tuning in through Facebook. Good morning to you. And good morning to Miss Adrian, who is also tuning in through YouTube, just to give a few people a quick shout out. Well, without further delay, y'all know what we do here. Let's get ready for some news in motion.
News in motion.
What's up, everyone? What's up? I got so excited because I saw Pastor Alex Williams pop in here, which also means his wife Laura is somewhere nearby. So good morning to the two of them. Rosanna, I saw you pop in. Donita, Lori, good morning. I believe Isaiah grabbed the rest of your names, but good morning to all of you. Just so excited to see all of you popping in here this morning. I also see my brother coming in here as well. Yeah, we are having a great time with our comeback. We are having a great time with our comeback. If you missed Monday's relaunch of News in Motion, or the new season, whatever you want to call it, believe me, you want to go back and watch at least the first 15 minutes of it so that you can catch up with everything that we're doing. Well, thank you, Deborah. She says, I look fabulous. And Lori says, you look beautiful. Thank you. Y'all, this is what 2-month break away from all the news will give to you. And I promise to protect my peace. Hello, somebody, to protect my peace. All right, y'all, let's jump in here and see what's going on. Today is Wednesday. It is September the 13th, 2023. I am your host, Gail Dudley. Welcome, everyone, from Facebook to LinkedIn to YouTube to the audio podcast platform. How y'all doing that audio podcast platform? I hear some of y'all struggling a little bit. There's a delay on the new audio that we're using. So we're filling it out. We'll be filling it out for the next couple of weeks and see where we're going to head with it. I see you, Davia. Oh, thank you. Look, do I need to? This is called exercise. This is called eating right. This is called finally sleeping at night. This is called protecting my peace. And I'm going to use that as our inspirational message. Y'all know now we are weaving it throughout. We don't necessarily have a designated piece at the end. But y'all, protecting my peace, even with my parents, I am protecting my peace. For example, my family knows, they'll laugh at me. I see my brother's on here. I think my sister's on here as well. Is that I can go over there and, my mom is still bedridden. She's not really up. She can't really get up or move around or anything. My dad's there. I can go into the house. And I'm talking like I grew up in this home, so there's no air conditioner. So it could be 100 degrees outside and I like zip in and zip out because they still want to have all the doors and stuff shut up. But anyway, something can pop off and I'm like, not today. I'm protecting my peace. Y'all look good. Y'all got some food. Everything's well. And I'm out. Even with drama with people, nope, I'm protecting my peace. Even with news, I'll consume so much now. And I want to give a shout out, and I know she hates this, but I'm going to give a shout out to Davia. If y'all are not following her Instagram, I encourage y'all to follow her Instagram. her post, her reels, her stories, and I have not shared this with you, Davia. I know I responded to you on something like, wow, perfect timing. You saved me because I was about to blow up, but her posts were perfect. She's talking about women empowerment, Black people empowerment, relationships, protecting yourself. Listen, I know how to breathe now. So what you're probably viewing is that I'm serious about this. I'm serious about this. Just on the fly, flew to Atlanta to go check out Beyonce, protecting my peace. And listen, I don't know what this 58-year-old body thought, but I like hung out with my sister friend, her daughter, and my daughter. Y'all, my body didn't shut down. We didn't go back to the hotel, and they lived there. I didn't, but we decided to stay downtown Atlanta until 4 a.m. My body the next day said, "Girl, what is wrong with you?" But I had so much fun, spur of the moment. Here's the inside piece. Y'all can laugh about this. Yeah, I'm in church. Kim Edmondson knows because she was at church too. My husband was preaching. I get this message. Hey, you want to go to the Beyonce concert the next day? I'm in church on Southwest. They're praying. My husband's about to preach. I am on Southwest. I need a ticket. Pulled out the credit card. This is all while sitting in church. That's how much I'm protecting my peace. I am loving life. So this is probably what you are seeing and witnessing. And if I can encourage all of you, do the same. Do the same. Don't wait. Protect your peace, protect your space even now. So that's that message, and we'll weave it in throughout. But anyway, y'all, call some friends, let them know we're on here. Get your coffee, your tea, and or your mimosa, and let's get started one more time with the new mission statement. Again, I have to read it because I don't know it yet. News in Motion operates as an aggregated media platform. We're pulling media from all directions, dedicated to fostering citizen engagement in civic life by delivering headline news, voter education, and encouraging voter participation. It serves as a catalyst for action with an uplifting message. We aim to instill a sense of empowerment and motivation. This grassroots movement, and it is now a movement, y'all, seeks to inspire individuals through informative and engaging content, encouraging them to take meaningful action in their communities and to contribute to positive change. So that is what we are doing. Yeah, before we get to the headlines, it's so important and our spotlight story is so important for me to say thank you. Y'all got that phone number and y'all started calling in. So glad we have an intern. Our intern is Lisa from Otterbein University. Um, but she notified me yesterday. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this real quick. She notified me yesterday that several of you are asking me to call you. Like, you want to take me to coffee after this show, lunch, which I love all of that. But there's a lot of you asking for that. So we're new to this, so we'll have to figure out how we're going to navigate from some of this. Some of you are wanting me to call you back about a story. If you have a story, put the information on there. Tell us where we can find it, or email us. So Isaiah, put the number up again. That's the number that you can call and leave a message. Oh, that was okay. That's the number you can call us and leave us a message of a story. Let us know where we can find this story. We will do our best to call you if you need to speak with us. Yeah, this is hard. Let me tell you why. Yesterday, there were 28 requests for callbacks, and that was out of 91 messages over the past couple of days. So again, that's so kind of you to want to invite me, and we will try to make it work. Some of you saw the images of myself and Adrian hanging out, having lunch a couple of weeks ago, and I would love to do that as much as I can, but we'll figure out how to make this work. I'm protecting my peace, so I'm not going to go crazy over this. And so please know that meetings may or may not be possible. Please be patient and do not get offended. Also, Isaiah, if you could put the email up there, that's the email address if you want to send us a link to a story or something that's going on. Okay. Again, y'all, thank you. We're spreading our wings. We're doing some new things, and we will try to make it work as we're navigating through this. Dr. Antoinette said, wear the swimsuit. Use the girl. Yeah, and y'all could probably see the my suntan line here, but whatever, because I went swimming at a friend's pool here in Columbus, Ohio last week, and it was like 90 something degrees and the sun was shining down the pool. Y'all protecting my peace. All right, y'all, let's get started. Bloomberg is reporting that regulators told CVS, Walgreens, and other companies that some over-the-counter eye drops, so I want y'all to pay attention to this if you use eye drops, are illegally marketed and pose a public health concern to Americans. Yeah, some of the eye drops, including ones marketed by CVS and Walgreens, were manufactured by companies known to have quality issues. Earlier this year, a deadly bacteria outbreak was tied to over-the-counter eye drops, and regulators also said on this past Tuesday that a common nasal decongestant doesn't work. And I'm like, well, which one is that? Because I use that too. So let us know. All right, y'all, whether you want to hear this or not, COVID numbers are on the rise. Like there's so much on the rise, they're talking about it over and over and over again. So Fox 5 DC reports, Dr. Antoinette, you are probably familiar with this, a controversial mask mandate was issued at a Maryland elementary school after 3 students tested positive in one classroom. Silver Springs, Maryland. A letter went out from Rosemary Hills Elementary School, and they were getting pushback from parents and officials and everyone else. And they said, look, this is what we're going to do. K95 masks, go ahead and wear them, especially in that classroom. And they have to wear them for 10 days. So by Friday, that mask mandate should be lifted there. Y'all do what's best for you. I understand it. But when you're talking about children in one classroom and they tested positive, they wanted to do what was best for that particular classroom. So people were asking questions. Well, did they go to lunch with other people? What does that look like? So we got to just navigate through that, y'all. So just be patient. Again, do what's best for you. Yes, Kim Edmondson, COVID is definitely on the rise. It is. I pulled my mask out. I did. Yes, I did. Speaking of COVID, CDC approves a new COVID booster. In the midst of this surge in cases, the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention has approved the latest booster for COVID-19 as cases continue to rise, and it is spreading, y'all. It is spreading. Doses are expected to be available later this week, and today is Wednesday, I'm sure by Friday. And then we have a release from the White House as well. And it says today's announcement, this was yesterday, also means that we now have immunizations for all 3 major seasonal respiratory viruses, COVID-19, the flu, and RSV. So check that out, see for yourself, understand, check with your physician to see what may be best for you. All right, y'all, 5 officers involved in the Tyre Nichols killing indicted by federal grand jury. A federal grand jury has indicted the 5 Memphis police officers involved in the January killing of Tyre Nichols. According to court filings, the officers were captured on body camera footage, brutally beating a 29-year-old Black man. All right, let me see what's happening before we go to our spotlight story. Before we go there, Lori Wallace says, is the booster number 80? Huh? Is that booster? Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it, Lori. I think it's number 4. It's either 4 or 5. I told y'all I'm in it now, so I'm going to keep going with it, right? I'll do the flu on one arm, and 21 days later, don't ask me why I'm saying 21 days later. I'll do the booster on the other arm. I'm in it now. I'm in it. All right, for our spotlight story, y'all know what I said on Monday. Get ready to chat. Let's talk impeachment. This is one of these stories where we'll have crossover, but we're going to go a little deeper. We're going to take a different angle than the other news sources that are out there. All right, Politico reports, and they had a great report. I love the reporting. The headline read, Kevin McCarthy plans to announce the House will move ahead on the impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden. No sooner than that announcement went out there, he did it. It is important to note that although he will more than likely move ahead with this inquiry, which he did on yesterday, he does not yet have the 218 votes needed to move forward. So y'all know what we talked about 2 years ago, the whip. The whip on the GOP side is out there in the House trying to whip up votes so that this can move ahead. Yeah. Hold on, let me keep going. All right, so with this announcement that arrived on yesterday, the House has decided to move forward with the inquiry, and it's a huge win for the conservatives. They're looking at this as a victory. Hold on, hold on. And they said that they have pressured the California Republican for months to move the existing investigation into the Democratic president into a formal inquiry. All right, but here's the challenge. Many are saying that Speaker McCarthy did not want to do this at all, but that his back was up against the wall. Remember those few people during the vote? How many votes did we have to make him speaker back in January? I think it was 15. They're saying you either do this or we're going to unseat you. Can you imagine sitting at your job or doing something and someone is constantly threatening you? If you don't do this, you will no longer have that title. If you don't do this, you're going to get fired. If you don't do this, we're going to do such and such. I couldn't live that way. He sold his soul back then. Yes, Yvonne, Kevin McCarthy is trying to keep his position. So he's doing this, but he knows he doesn't have the votes. You also have 18 Republicans that are in the House who voted for Joe Biden. So how are you going to make that happen? And they also encourage their constituents to vote for him as well. So what are they going to do? Shirley Nicholson said RSV ain't no joke for folks over 60. That's that vaccine, the RSV. And she is knowledgeable about that. Now, y'all, this long debate have really put, and again, we would call those 18 centrists. They're the vulnerable Republicans in districts that were also won by President Biden. Again, those 18 voted for him and their constituents voted for them. So it's putting them in a very uncomfortable position. What are they going to do? Because they're also looking at, well, I don't want to lose my seat come 2024. So what am I going to do here? All right. So the House GOP can hold a vote as early as next week as if they're going to move forward with this. Now, in this announcement, a lot of people have a lot of rumors out there. They're running with it and so forth. All right. Well, Isaiah's going to put a link up there and y'all can check it out. Y'all know I'm pretty nosy. So I went looking for this FBI report where they're trying to connect Hunter Biden. This is coming from Grassy, from Hunter Biden to his dad while his dad was the vice president of the United States. Well, they're fishing because it ain't in here. Now, some of it has been redacted, as you can tell. Not a lot. But can y'all see this? This report, this page right here. And y'all can read it yourselves. But check this out. I was looking at this. And this was dated 6/30/2020. I thought, that's interesting. And the source reporting, which they blocked out some of that, they talk about the first meeting in Ukraine in 2015 and 2016. And this is a meeting between Hunter Biden and a person by the name of Alexander Otaspico. I believe I said that correctly. And they're talking about a business deal. But Hunter Biden didn't work in the White House. I know someone's children who did work in the White House, and they profit off a lot with their businesses, the former occupants' children. So where are we with all of this? And what's the point of bringing about impeachment charges to President Joe Biden? But hold on. If they go forward with it, they will send it over to the Senate, and then the Senate will have a trial. They don't have majority in the Senate. So are they wasting taxpayers' time and money? We talked about taxpayer money being $100 billion annually yesterday for nursing homes. So now we're going to spend more money of our money? Here's just a thought. When will they become good stewards of our money? Because this is our money, our hard-earned money that we are paying into taxes every year. They're not being good stewards of this money. And why this change? I want y'all to fill up the chat. Let's talk about this. Why the change all of a sudden? Where are we headed with this? So the Republicans on Thursday released a copy of a unverified tip to the FBI alleging a scheme to bribe President Biden. A tip that has not been corroborated, but is nonetheless fueling GOP investigation into the Biden family. Okay, stop. Hold up. Wait a minute. I started connecting the dots because I wanted to. I wanted to get an understanding. Have y'all know Kim Edmonds said it's called tit for tat? Yes. Have y'all noticed? I want y'all to think about this for a moment. Have y'all noticed that you no longer hear about the other foul folders in Pence's garage or Joe Biden's old office or anywhere else? Have y'all noticed that? It just like went away. Have you noticed we're no longer talking about Jared Kushner or Ivanka Trump when it comes to business deals with the Saudis? Have y'all noticed that? Have you noticed that some of these high profile business deals are no longer being reported? Have y'all noticed that? But all of a sudden we're going to go here. Have y'all noticed? Have you noticed that we're no longer talking about Mitch McConnell and his health or Dianne Feinstein or her health? Have y'all noticed that? Like, seriously, have y'all been paying attention to what's really happening? What's really going on behind the scenes and what are they really after? Those are the questions that I'm asking. And these are the questions that you should be asking. And this is a perfect time for you to write into your representatives to ask them, why are you wasting taxpayer money and how are you going to vote? Regardless if you have a Democrat representative or a GOP representative. We need to start asking the questions. Why are you wasting our time? What about immigration reform? Because we have where the Texas Governor Abbott, has been sending migrants to New York and to California and to other places and to Chicago. And those mayors are saying, we can no longer do this. You're busting our budget with this. We do not see an end to this cycle. Okay, well, why aren't we dealing with that? Why aren't we dealing with gun reform when it comes to this money? Lori Wallace says maybe they are trying to bring negative focus to Biden to make him look like he's on the same level as the former guy, therefore discrediting him and raising up the other one. Yes, there's a lot with that, Lori, because if they can damage him going into the 2024 election, they can get their old guy back in if he's not in prison. But y'all know he can be in prison and still leave the country, right? But you also have uh, states where people are now filing suits to where the former guy cannot be on the ballot. Yvonne Gardner says trying to make Biden look bad before the election, wasting their time. A lot of that's happening. So I want to keep going here because I wanted to go back to the whip for a moment because I want us to understand what is happening. Number one, we have Speaker McCarthy, whose back is up against the wall. He does not want to lose his position, so he's going to do whatever is demanded of him. Okay. So far, again, he doesn't have the 218 GOP votes needed to launch an impeachment inquiry. So they're moving forward with it. So don't be confused. And that's one thing that I want us to understand. Don't get confused with the fact that he's saying that he's moving forward, but they can't even go into an inquiry because he does not have the 218 votes yet. So I even heard some media people saying, oh, they're moving forward with the impeachment inquiry and this is what's happening. There's a vote and the vote went, no, none of that happened. They just moved forward, but they don't have the votes to go into a legal inquiry. They don't have that. He and other top Republicans have tried to characterize such a step as strengthening their investigative power. So they're also trying to strengthen their power. They're trying to spin that narrative. And what usually happens, we fall for the narrative. Don't fall for the narrative, y'all. Don't fall for the narrative. This is where we have to slow down and ask those inside questions, that critical thinking that I put out there yesterday. We have to ask those questions like, okay, well, what exactly is an inquiry? Where will they go from here? What could possibly happen? Will Joe Biden be impeached? No, because they don't have the numbers on the Senate side. So you have that. Now, here's what's important. Pay attention, people, pay attention. Do not for one reason think that this time, and they've been talking about impeachment since day one, since January 2020. Okay. They've been talking about impeachment. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been the ringleader, and Matt Gaetz when it comes to an impeachment inquiry. All right, so this is perfect timing. So they set it up. They'll go through. They have the government shutdown that's looming in front of them for October the 1st. Y'all, I'm giving y'all my analysis right here. And I do believe I know what I'm speaking of right here. So that's going to take you in October. So this has been put out there. We floated this out here. Now we're going to get quiet because we got to pay attention to the government. Then you go into October 1st, and then it's going to shift because we have local elections and a couple national elections for November. I believe that's the 7th. Forgive me if I gave the wrong date. So that's going to have to switch there. Then they're going to go into their holiday season, which means they'll take their winter break. Then they won't come back until January. January sets them up. Pay attention, y'all. January sets them up for leading into the primaries. Y'all following me? So then the primaries will be the discussion. Then they'll keep going. They'll get their nominee, will probably be August, where they will have their RNC convention. And then they'll be beating the ground to get their person in office. Even still, they'll wait and see what happens. They'll push all of their GOP individuals, and they'll get them in office. They're going to try to flip the House, and they'll try to keep the House and flip the Senate. And then right after the elections of November 2024, they will then, if the Senate flips, they will then have the trial. They'll have a speedy trial, and they will try to impeach Joe Biden before January the 1st, 2025. Yes. So y'all don't miss what's happening. So even now, follow along on the back pages to see where they're headed. That's how it's going to go down. Y'all heard it here first on News in Motion with your host, Gail Dudley. So that's what's happening. Now, we have some moderates that have signaled that they may get on board, but it's going to have to make sense. And they want a direct connection to President Biden and not just Hunter. So they're saying, I'm not too sure about that. You have Don Bacon, a Republican in Nebraska, saying, no, this isn't clear for me yet. You have others. You have Joe Manchin that's now in trouble. I'll talk about that story tomorrow as a spotlight. So he's kind of like hanging low and hanging back, like, I'm not too sure about this. Now, if you want to understand the impeachment inquiry, Kim Edmondson said, break it down. Y'all know I love this. Y'all know that, right? I just absolutely love this. So if you want to check out, and I don't have this in there, and I'll get the link in here before I'm out of here. And I'm watching the time because Isaiah has another job. Y'all know Isaiah can't hang with me too long. He's gotten important. But I love him, and I'm so excited for him. But now this is how, in case you've forgotten, this is how the federal impeachment process works. Number one, the House of Representatives will bring the articles, the charges of impeachment against an official. Again, they do not have the 218 to do this yet. Then from there, the House will adopt the articles by a simple majority vote. The official has been impeached. That's how it will move. Then number three, the Senate holds an impeachment trial. In the case of the president, the U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice will preside. And that's how, we don't know what's going on with John Roberts these days. Number four, if found guilty, the official is removed from office and they may never be able to hold elected office again. And then number five, if they are not found guilty, they may continue to serve in office. All right. So those are the 5 steps to the impeachment, but they can't even get to number 1 yet because they do not have the 218 votes. So they're talking about it. He's moving forward with it. The speaker is currently moving, but the whip is out here trying to whip up votes, but they do not have the votes as of yet. So everyone just take a deep breath. It's cool, but it is tit for tat, as Kim was saying. And here's the question I have for all of you. By the way, y'all, this is some really interesting reading from the FBI. Y'all, seriously, I love finding this stuff. But anyway, and I don't quit. When I have something in my mind that I want to find and share with you all, I keep going. But at the same time, I'm protecting my peace. But with that, I want y'all to just consider just for a moment. This is what's happening to our democracy. So tit for tat. You did this to our person, we're going to do this to you. Why? And how much money are you spending on this? How much money? You can go back to Benghazi with Secretary Clinton. How much money, taxpayers' money, was tied up in that? How much money currently is being tied up with this former guy and all of what's going on? So, as constituents, as voters, and this is our participation piece to this is a call to action piece. As voters, we have a responsibility to do our due diligence and to respond to our representatives, our Congress people, even writing into DOJ if we have to, and say, what is really going on here? I'm connecting the dots here. There's nothing here. And then we need to start having the conversation, not again being tit for tat, but to raise the question. You had the former guy's children working in the administration, and they were making money with the Saudis. I'll just keep going back there. Let's talk about the deal, the merger with the golf course. Hello, somebody. Really? What's going on here? What's really happening here? And why are we allowing this to happen? So Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, what? What's going to happen here? We need to pay attention to these things, and we need to do our part. We need to attend these town hall meetings and raise these questions. If we stay silent, they will continue to think that everything's okay and we're okay with it. No, this is where we raise our voices. Do not be intimidated. Do not work from a platform of fear, but ask the questions. We have the right to ask questions as voters, as citizens of the United States. Let me see what some of you are saying before I go to my final news piece. They don't spend much time and energy on the unethical killing to people of color or schools. Thank you, Lori. Marion, thank you for breaking it down. Now, for every senator who was voted in and has not followed through with campaign promises need to be voted out. Dr. Antoinette said, was driving, great breakdown. Mike Nicholson, they losing money. And then Kim Edmondson, amen. Yes, y'all. That's my goal here. And I think that's why I feel so good about News in Motion yesterday. When I got off and I did my reels yesterday, I was overwhelmed with, God, thank you. Thank you for teaching me how to protect my peace and how to bring stories together to deliver them. Y'all, I'm on a whole new plane right now. I'm on a whole new plane, and thank you for riding with me. So, y'all, before we go, looking back at the spotlight story I shared on Monday, we now have an estimated 5,300 people in northeast Libya who are feared dead, with thousands more missing amid the devastating floods from Mediterranean storm Daniel's historic rainfall on Sunday. The rare tropical storm-like phenomenon, the same storm responsible for last week's flooding in southeastern Europe, lost strength yesterday as it tracked east into Europe. And this is coming from the Weather Channel, by the way. The country's northeastern port of Derna, roughly 150 miles east of Benghazi, was hit hardest with over 16 inches of rain falling in 24 hours. Y'all, their normal September average is 1 inch. Roughly a quarter of the city, 90,000, bisected by the Wadi Derna River, was completely washed away after 2 upriver dams failed, sending walls of water down the valley and across the city's delta to the Mediterranean Sea. So we still have this whole piece when it comes to global warming that people think it doesn't exist. At some point, even with that in the United States government, they need to pay attention and they need to verbally accept that this is what's going on. And what I'm afraid of is that we're going to have more people. And when I say what I'm afraid of, and I don't mean like, ooh, wow, I'm like scared or nervous, but I'm saying it to say that more and more people are going to protest like they did at the US Open. They're going to do some outrageous things like gluing their feet to the concrete. Y'all know that happened. last week. And more people are going to take to the streets, and more people are going to do some radical things. And if they would just acknowledge that global warming is real and we need to start figuring out things that we can do. But until that time, we have a responsibility as well as human beings with our own human rights to think about the plastic that we're throwing away, the medication that we're throwing down our toilets or sinks, the things that we're putting on our lawns, the gas that we're using for our cars, the light bulbs that we're using, the trees that we're getting cut down, just everything that we're doing. We need to start asking, is this going to help the climate or is it going to help secure the climate or help destroy the climate? Questions that we have to ask ourselves, and making sure that we're not being selfish about some of the things that we're doing. All right, y'all, do me this favor today. Start figuring out how you're going to protect your peace. How you're going to protect your peace. That's it for today. Until our time together tomorrow, stay moving and live your life abundantly. I'm out.